What I'm going to talk about today, I know that nearly no lawyer or law firm really wants to get involved in, but frankly, I think you're missing out on a huge opportunity. It is still there for a certain window of time. And if you're not going to get on board, you're going to be a very, very, very late comer to the party, and you're not going to see the same kind of results you could be if you get onto it now. My name's Chris Hargraves. I'm from Known, Liked and Trusted, where we do digital marketing for law firms. And if you haven't guessed it, we're talking about video marketing. Video marketing in terms of your face, not in terms of someone putting together a slideshow. That can do things, but I'm talking specifically about your face. Videos like this one where you can see the person who is presenting and hear their voice. Why should you be in it? Firstly, it's not that too much of a surprise that video across most platforms, social media and otherwise, tends to over-deliver at the moment. It's still doing it. It has been for a little while. In the overall scheme of content types, the ability to mass produce video is relatively new and far more accessible than it used to be. It used to be a whole thing that was limited to large production studios or people with enormous amounts of money. These days, basically anyone can get involved in video marketing, but for various reasons that I'm going to come to, lawyers don't seem to want to. Why don't you want to? You don't want to typically because one, it's a strange forum to be talking to a lens. Two, you're nervous about doing the videos in the first place. Three, you don't like seeing yourself or hearing yourself on the internet. Four, you don't want to be perceived as that person who's putting themselves out there, or maybe you feel like a real estate agent or something like that with the big billboards they put with their faces on them and stuff like that. It's a degree of self-consciousness, but the reality is the results are available and fairly easily demonstrated that video has far more significant reach, and it is also a better forum for building trust with your potential clients and potential referrers. So to an extent, really all of your complaints fall into the get over it category. They are all easily surmountable. You get used to hearing yourself and seeing yourself. You can practice so that you get past the awkwardness on video. And frankly, if you don't get started relatively soon, there will be all of your competitors doing the same thing. So the people who are in these spaces are the people who are making far more significant inroads. Now, I am not a particularly early adopter in the overall scheme of marketing land. I tend to let things get a little more tested than some other people do, but things like podcasting and video marketing are now an absolute no-brainer. And if you are not making videos as part of your overall content marketing strategy, then you are missing out on an opportunity. What is the opportunity? The opportunity is to get your face and your voice in front of people, to build more trust with them over a longer period of time. Why do I say that? If you write an article, it is very hard, especially if you're writing like most lawyers do, to inject any form of real personality into that. It is hard for you to be identifiable as the author, and typically with law firm articles, you could sub out the names of the authors and no one would even have a clue. The writing styles are all fundamentally similar. The wording is all fundamentally similar. In a lot of cases, most of the articles are written by the same 2 or 3 law clerks anyway, and then just published or edited by and published under the name of a more senior lawyer. So the fact is, while I am wholeheartedly in favor of producing excellent articles and content, they don't necessarily go too far up on the trust scale. If we're talking about known, liked and trusted, one of our elements has to be demonstrating that we are both likable and trustworthy. And one of the ways we can do that is going from words on a page where people can neither see you or hear you, up to something on audio, say, like podcasting, where at least people can hear you and potentially hear you over a longer period of time than they would spend reading an article. And then we can bump it up again to video, where people can both see and hear you. Why is that good? If you're writing an article, you can fake to an extent how it comes out. You can take the time necessary to make sure it sounds precisely how you want it to sound. Whereas there is no real opportunity for facade when it comes to video marketing. It is a much higher opportunity for people to see how you really are once you get past the part where how you look on video bears no resemblance to who you are, and that just involves practice. It involves becoming more natural on the camera. It involves talking to the lens or the person interviewing you or whatever the case might be in the same way that you would talk to people that you are otherwise engaging with. Once you get to that point, video marketing is a powerful tool because it helps people know what you're really like. one of the reasons that clients are nervous about getting in touch with a new lawyer, because they don't really know what they're going to be like. They don't know whether their personalities are going to mesh. They don't know whether they're going to be super serious. Are they going to be super silly? Are they going to be something else entirely? How are they going to sound? Are they articulate? Are they expert? Are they clever? Are they funny? Whatever the case might be, this is your opportunity to show people what you are really like. There used to be a buzzword floating around called the unique selling position, which of course every single law firm in the universe decided their unique selling position was their expertise. And as a result, of course, it is not particularly unique, and they all just blend in with each other. Most recently, it's probably not expertise, it's we chase commercial outcomes. That seems to be the catchphrase right at the moment. But again, since every single law firm does that, it's not particularly unique either. You know what is unique though, is the way you look and the way you sound and the way you present yourself to people. And if they have an opportunity to see you and engage with you, at least through a camera lens or via a YouTube video or whatever the case might be, then they're going to be much more likely to actually feel a degree of connection with you for the future, and they're much more likely to reach out to you because they feel like they know you a bit more, far more so than on your articles. So if you aren't getting into video marketing, pick up your phone, start recording videos, even if you delete the first 20 of them because you don't like them. Give it a crack, okay? It is worth it. It is not difficult anymore. There are basically no technology excuses available. Sure, there are ways that you can do it better and there are ways you can do it worse, and we'll talk about some of them over time. But for now, begin. And that's all I had time for today.